Welcome to The Division. Set in a post-pandemic New York City, you are a member of The Division, a sleeper cell, only activated in the worst of circumstances, whose job it is to investigate the virus that brought New York City to ruin and help restore order. If you're someone who's interested in what this game's about, maybe you saw it on sale, want to know if it's worth picking up, or you already bought it and are a complete beginner, this video's for you. I'm going to be walking you through the story of The Division, the mechanics, where to get started, and what you can expect for your time in New York City. The good, the bad, and everything in between. If you enjoy the video, consider dropping a like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe. Now, let's get into The Division is a live service third-person looter shooter. It's set in New York City after an outbreak of a man-made, highly contagious and deadly strain of smallpox. This outbreak ruins Black Friday for everybody, and causes New York to be quarantined. Anyone who wasn't able to get out of the city in time ended up stuck inside. This is where you come in. As part of the Strategic Homeland Division, you are tasked with helping the remaining forces in New York find a vaccine for the virus and bring justice to whoever caused the outbreak in the first place. It's a cool premise, and the setting of an almost post-apocalyptic Christmas-time New York City is really awesome. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll leave it at that, but just know that the story is nothing crazy, and it's not the main reason you're going to be playing the game. The initial premise is really cool, but the writing doesn't really live up to it, and the way the story is told in the main missions is not that great. I do think there's a really good story here, but it's not from the main missions. If you really want to know the story of how New York ended up the way it did, and what the initial stages of the outbreak were like, this game has plenty of audio logs and these mini digital flashbacks called echoes to scratch that itch. They're super well done, and if you're really big into lore, I definitely recommend looking for all of them. Another thing that you'll find through all the collectibles is the lore on the enemy factions you run into, and I think some of these are really interesting. For example, the Cleaners. Their lore is that they're all sanitation workers, garbage men, street cleaners, public workers who kept up infrastructure. They saw the way the government handled the outbreak as a complete failure, so they decided to take care of the virus themselves by burning it out. It's such an awesome concept for a faction, and I totally see why they were chosen to be the Division's rep in X-Defiant. RIP. Gone too soon. You will be missed. Kind of. Anyway, moving on. Let's get into gameplay. From the story I've told you so far, the gritty aesthetics you see on screen, and all the realistic weaponry, you may think this is a realistic, hardcore, tactical shooter with looter shooter elements. It's not. Like not at all. While the story is really realistic, and on the surface it looks realistic, this is a looter shooter first. That means guns have a ridiculous amount of bullets, enemies are able to tank multiple mags to the face, and your melee takedowns look less like this, and more like this. That disconnect is going to throw some people off, but once you get past it, you'll notice it's really not that big of a deal. Plus, it is possible for enemies to go down in half a mag or less. It all really depends on your level and gear score. You and your enemies have levels. The higher your level is compared to theirs, the easier it'll be to kill them. If their level is way higher than yours, then you start running into the whole bullet sponge issue. Keep in mind that bosses will always be bullet sponges, but come on, they're boss fights, obviously they're going to be harder to kill. On top of your own level, your weapons and your gear also have scores. Stick with me now, cause I'm about to throw a lot at you, but trust me, it's not as complicated as it sounds. You'll have 3 things you need to worry about with your items, that being DPS, toughness, and skill power. DPS is how much damage you're putting out, toughness is how much damage you can take, and skill power is how effective your skills are. You can equip 2 different skills and 1 signature skill. Skills are abilities you can equip that'll help you in fights, like a recon pulse that can highlight enemies through walls and increase crit damage, a mini turret that'll help defend you, a health and revive station, and more. These 3 things are your bread and butter, and will define your build. You want to do a glass cannon build that can dish out a shit ton of damage but you die super easily, a support heavy build with lots of healing and ammo, a lockdown build to tank a bunch of incoming damage, you can do all of that and more. Once you get to higher levels, build diversity is going to be a big part of the game. But until you reach those high levels, just pick whatever's got the highest number. Along with gear score, items come in 6 different tiers: worn, standard, specialized, superior, high-end, exotic, and classified. Worn and standard are your basic items. Specialized items include a bonus along with better stats. Superior has even better bonuses. High-end has really good stats along with specific talents. Exotics are the rarest items with really powerful name talents. And classified items give strong set bonuses when multiple items on the same set are equipped. All of the stuff I've mentioned here will be the meat of the game. Do missions, get better loot, upgrade your build, repeat. As a complete beginner, I recommend getting through the main campaign at your own pace and not to worry too much about your build. You definitely can if you want to, but it's not a necessity like it will be once you reach level 30. Just know that once you hit level 30, the game really opens up with way more ways to play, better missions, and in turn, better loot. If you really want me to do a video about the Division's endgame, let me know, maybe I'll do that next. Alright, I think that's all the gameplay stuff done, so let's move on to... Oh yeah! How could I forget?
Warning, entering dark zone.
The Dark Zone is the most dangerous area of New York City. A zone quarantined from an already quarantined Manhattan. A no man's land full of bodies, some of the hardest enemies in the game, and some of the best loot. This is where your skills are going to be tested, and only the best Division agents make it out of the Dark Zone alive. Think of this place as a more forgiving extraction shooter. You don't lose all the loot you enter with when you die, but you do lose all the loot you collected while in the DZ. And the only way to keep it is to extract it. I also bring up the extraction shooter comparison because although the enemies are hard, they are not the biggest concern in the Dark Zone. That would be your fellow agents. See, the Dark Zone is one of the few areas in the game where PvP is active. Help your fellow agents gather loot and extract it, fighting tooth and nail to get out of the DZ together, or go rogue, kill them, and take all their loot for yourself. You can access the DZ after you reach level 10, but I recommend going in at the top of your level bracket to avoid getting your shit kicked in. If you really want a challenge, wait till you hit level 30 and then deal with the hardest enemies in the game and high level players. It's all up to you. Watch out for hackers though. This game is a decade old, and even though it does still have a decently active player base, that also means it's got a lot of hackers that love places like the DZ. Especially since Ubisoft isn't actively supporting the game anymore. Don't be afraid to enter the Dark Zone though. It is a great place to get loot, really fun combat arenas, and is just generally a really large part of the game that you shouldn't miss out on. So that's the Division for you all. A great looter shooter that's aged really well, an incredible setting, fun and rewarding gameplay, and so many options to play it the way you want. Although its PvP can be a little rough, and the servers aren't the greatest, although when is any Ubisoft's game servers okay? Seriously guys, lock in. I still think the Division is absolutely worth picking up today. Even without active support and most of the developers working on the Division 2 or even the Division 3, I still think the game is worth playing. I think Ubisoft made something really special here with its environments and world building. The Division is just dripping with atmosphere, and I think everyone should experience it at least once. If you do end up picking the game up, I highly recommend getting the Gold Edition. Trust me on this. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, I hope to see you in the field, and good luck agents.